Hey guys, it's Misha here, and today I'm going to talk about black and white splitting part 2. So, last week I kind of explained what black and white splitting really means. It's kind of that be all end all in a person. It's either we love them, love, 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 or hate, hate, hate. And it can go from white to black or black to white, but typically we usually love a person first and then we see those bad characteristics and then they fall into the black. Now, there are a couple reasons why I think personally we split on people and things. And I think it's because we don't have a solid sense of self. Who we are is kind of dictated by who someone else is, and we kind of go by what they do and kind of their values as a person. So if what they're exhibiting isn't currently, what is kind of how we feel and what we think, then it's easy to suddenly see who they truly are. Whereas before, if they're just white, we can't see all these other necessarily like negative characteristics. So we can go from positive to negative. But a normal person can see both positives and negatives at the same time. The difference between us is when we love someone, we don't see that negative part until we see so much of the negative that we forget about the positive. It's so hard to remember what we felt when we felt these positive aspects when we only see the negative. I mean, we can remember that that person has been good to us before, but it doesn't matter in that point in time. If a person is being cruel to us, we don't necessarily hold what they originally treated us as, and it doesn't hold any significance to us because, I mean, if they were a good person, why would they be acting this way? It's just like we see in ourselves. Sometimes I do genuinely think of myself as a good person, but that's also because I'm probably around other people that are good people at the moment. But when I have just split on someone and they're in the black, and a lot of people at that moment are in the black, I don't remember, ever having those good times, and I myself feel as though I am in the black. So I view myself as a bad person. And it's so hard when you yourself are in the black. Put yourself in the black and you don't really get to see other people for the good in them. We're so busy being so down and negative on ourselves. It's so much easier to see the negative in other people. You kind of see what you view yourself as in other people. We mirror and we reflect and deflect. So reflect and deflect. It's kind of the whole part of splitting. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now. It's just kind of what's going off in my mind. So yeah, we don't have a solid sense of self. We don't have anything to base who we are as a person. So we go off of what other people act and how other people treat us. And if that is bad or if that's not good at the moment, then that's all we can see is the black. Now, I've had a lot of different circumstances where people have been white and then black. And then last week I told you guys about how someone was in the black and they go into the white. And that is all based off of how that person is treating us at the moment. So if someone has been in the black for a really long time, but then they make their way over to the white, I do remember them treating me poorly in the past, but then I also remember that, okay, I also treated them poorly, and that doesn't really hold any significance anymore. It's all about the past few weeks or so, how they've been treating me, and if that has been really good, if they made a solid effort to kind of continue the relationship, then they're in the white. And that's also why we have the fear of abandonment, is because since we are not comfortable with who we are and ourselves, we need those other people there to kind of guide us and to kind of tell us what to do and how to act. And what our values are. And so when someone is, even for a short period of time, gone away, that really freaks us out because that means that we have to be alone. And even if someone isn't necessarily saying that they're going to leave, we pick up on little things that there's a possibility of them leaving, so that we recognize it before it happens, and then it's kind of like we put our guard up and we don't want to be hurt. Now, this doesn't mean that they are going to leave. It's just that how we see it, how we're viewing it at the moment, as misguided as it is, we feel as though it's a sign that they're going to leave. And that's when we also split them black. It's, okay, this person is going to leave me. This person's not going to be in my life anymore. I might as well find all these things that are wrong with them to kind of make myself feel better for the fact that they're not going to be in my life anymore. So it means kind of like we have to make ourselves feel better and solidify the fact that even if they were to leave, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because there's all these things that are bad. Now, this is obviously a coping mechanism. I'm not saying this is a healthy behavior. Obviously, this is a disorder. So, for normies or like neurotypicals, this attitude and this behavior doesn't make sense at all. But this is the best way that I can explain it, and this is the best way I hope others are able to explain it to those other people in their lives that are kind of questioning why we do this. I mean, that's the best way that I can put into words. I'm sure it didn't really make much sense because I'm kind of all scatterbrained. It's really hard to notice what we're doing and kind of put reasons behind it, because since we're so impulsive, we don't know why we're doing things, and we don't know necessarily what that's going to lead to. We don't know kind of what happened in the past. We just kind of go off of how we're feeling right now. So it is very, very hard to explain these emotions and these feelings. I'm doing the best I can. I understand that it may not make that much sense, but yeah. So that's black and white splitting in a nutshell. The best way that I can describe it, the best way that I can put it for you guys to understand. And I hope it helped some of you guys, and I hope that any of you out there that don't have borderline personality disorder and are watching my videos, I hope that this kind of put things into perspective for you. And yeah, so next week I will be continuing on with another video about BPD. Stay tuned for that. Until then, take care, guys.